there on the play that led to the corner, obviously. And again, I always talk about moments, and when the moments, especially in the last 3 games, rack up to the point where you're sick of it, there's the senses are heightened. The moment is huge, and it could be as innocuous as a throw-in, or a corner in this case. But again, I mean, the guys executed the game plan. However, the game state's different. And so, like, we can talk about how we wanted to attack the game, how we want to defend the game. At the end of the day, when you concede a goal like that, and the second one as well, I think they were soft. They were soft goals. And so, from an attacking perspective, I love the way we got balls in the box and fed the big guys up there. And obviously the goal that we scored is probably one of the best goals we've scored all year. So it just comes down to, especially against this team that prides themselves on set pieces. And that's something that I think we balanced the right way this week, where it wasn't over the top, but it was like, this is where they're good. And so we've got to be better. And tonight we weren't in that phase.
So they knocked you out in the playoffs last year, and they win 2-0 and 3-1 this year. This lineup tonight, going with their listed heights, 8 guys 6 feet or taller, 2 guys 5'11", and Will Trapp. And the way you played so many short corners, it looked like it was angles trying to work around big guys. As much as the RSL roster's been rebuilt and 3 new starters in the lineup tonight, do you have to keep looking for more size given what you're running up against?
I think it's really the modern game. I think you watch football all over the world, and size matters, speed matters, and those, I think, become the nuanced part of the game. It's not, you don't want just a big guy who can't play soccer, but I think there is value in having a team that can defend set pieces and attack set pieces the way they do. And so I think from our part is we want to continue to work on that phase of the game. And again, the guys have been, when we're training it, it's hard to recreate the pressure on said corner kicking training. It's because the tactic is understood, but then the playmaking within that has to show up on Saturday, if not. So to your question, I think I think the size that we've got in Victor and Juan, I think make a difference. I think change the profile of the way we attack. If teams are going to give us a half space for our 10s to run into, that's great. But if not, if they're closing that off, then we have 2 guys in the box that can use their size and their aerial ability to get points on the board. So, yeah.
You gave up a goal early in the first half. Also gave up a goal early in the second half. What went wrong in the giveaway? Because clearly that was in a bad spot there.
Yeah. Again, it's anytime those plays happen, it's always the passer and the receiver, right? I think it's both of those things. And to be fair, though, having given that initial play up, we still had 2 more chances to have some good box defending to put that fire out. So again, if we're going to be a team that wants to throw numbers forward and really press them, the way we defend in transition, and it's something that we continue to work on, has to be elite. Has to be elite for those moments. Again, because we don't want teams to dictate to us how we want to play, right? We want to continue to get better at the way we want to play. And unfortunately tonight, that third goal really took the wind out from our sails and allow them to get kind of comfortable doing what they like to do, which is defend deep.
It looked like Olatunji had 3 good chances early in the game. Is the way he plays with his size, his speed, his aggressiveness, and his willingness to just keep moving, is that going to create gravity and open the game up for Diego Luna when they finally get to play together?
Yeah, I think so. I think the one thing with Victor is that, again, I think we have to modify the way we get balls into the box. It can't always be on the ground. Right, I think he allows us to be more diverse in the way we want to get balls in the box, but he is really comfortable with his feet in tight areas as well. I think you saw tonight, like these one-touch layoffs, he's fantastic in what he's done. So I think, again, his understanding of the way we want to play, and more importantly, his teammates and how he can play off of them, and that's why these next couple of weeks are really important to have Diego Luna in camp and getting those relationships going, because I think he's he's going to always occupy a minimum of 2 players, and that leaves space for a guy like Diego to reap the benefits of that.
So given the fact that, oddly, you're not going to play another game for 3 weeks now, how much of this is about time off and rest and recuperation? How much is about training camp, essentially, a mini camp to integrate these new players?
Listen, we want to get to the playoffs. There's no time to take time away. I mean, even if it's tactical, if it's video sessions, we aren't where we want to be, right? And the commitment that we have to each other, to our fans, it's a non-negotiable that we get better and use this time in a way that's going to move this group forward. And that can only be done with the collective being together, spending time together, believing together. And I think that's what breeds great teams. And so we'll use this time as a mini camp, as you said, because again, if we don't get to the playoffs, then we have 10 weeks. I don't even know how many. We don't have time. We got to really commit to our craft, to our profession. We got a lot of people that we're responsible for, and that weighs.
You have 4 defensive midfielders who played quite a bit. Obviously, with so many suspensions, you played Pablo Ruiz a little out of position tonight. But you let Caliscan go 90 minutes, and he hasn't even been playing that position all season. What does that say about what you saw from him this week and what you saw from him during the first 45 or 60 minutes tonight?
Yeah, no, I think, again, Noel is probably the best communicator that we have in that group, in that three group. He's been playing a more defensive position, obviously as a right back, a stay-at-home right back. And so in this game, I thought it was important to make sure that we had someone that was really dialed into the defensive side of the game and for transitions. So positioning, communication to the players around him, and also really thinking the game from that perspective to allow Mecca to bomb forward and run the half space, which I thought he did a great job. So I think now, moving down the stretch, we have players that have all different types of attributes, and to be able to utilize them for specific games is I think the way we'll go towards the end of the season.
You've really spotted Johnny Russell, and tonight you gave him about 60 minutes. That was a pretty long run. How did he play?
I thought he did well. And obviously it's tough when you're not getting a consistent run of games. But I think he, in the first half, he made some plays in the attacking half. There's one cross in particular that he put in. And again, I think that's why we wanted a left footer on the right side, because what they do a really good job of is giving you the line defensively. And when you have a 5 line, it's really hard to get to the end line to get across. And so they have to respect the line because we have a half space runner. And if they do that, then it's a chop and serve. And we wanted to create a lot of chances at the top of the box, and we did that today. And the one thing that was lacking was the decision of what to do next. Is this a shooting opportunity, or do I just stay calm in this moment and find that extra pass, maybe release the weak side wing back to get another great opportunity? So some things that the guys did were the guys executed really well as far as the game plan, and now we just need to fine tune some of these decisions at the top of the box to create better chances from them.
After Johnny had served some in, he played like a no-look ball, I think, with the outside of his left foot and just kind of let it drift to the top of the box for Caliscan, who stopped his run. Is that a case of 2 guys who haven't played together, not able to read each other?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I think that's kind of what we've run into, in particular as of late, with these suspensions and bringing players in. Obviously he's been playing on the right. DeAndre comes, he's playing in the middle. And it's been just kind of start-stop from building that continuity and chemistry that we need to be able to execute. I think that's a great example of getting into really good spots, and then it just kind of not getting more from those moments. So we'll continue to work it. I think the effort from everyone tonight was fantastic. I think they executed really well. The commitment when the ball turned over to repress. I think the one thing that leaves me a bit frustrated is the goals we gave up. And the first goal, I don't know if we can do better on the first header, but then it hits off somebody and goes in. The second one, we give up a foul in a non-dangerous area against a really good set piece team, and then don't handle the set piece well. So if we're just talking about soccer without set pieces, I think the guys were fantastic tonight, but unfortunately that's not the case.
Thanks. DeAndre gets a start tonight, goes a full 90. Thoughts on his debut?
Again, I think it speaks to his experience to be able to come into a group. Cincinnati play completely different, right? They don't play close to the opponent's first line of confrontation. And so in 2 or 3 days, sitting down with the coaches and really understanding how important it is. What I really liked about DeAndre's performance tonight was his desire to drive forward with the ball. Oftentimes when we get it on the rotation, if it's not real clear, if there's not a real clear pass, we'll end up rotating again, where he engaged, made a couple really nice passes centrally that just led to different types of opportunities, whether it was a rogue side or a combination centrally. So I think, given that he just joined us a day and a half ago, he had a fantastic performance and one that he can definitely build on as we move forward.
Hey, Pablo. Go ahead.
Pablo, ¿es difícil sacar una conclusión en un partido donde dominas tanto pero no metes gol?
Claro, hay frustraciones, especialmente en el tema de los tiros libres. Es una cosa que hablamos esta semana, que es un equipo que vive y muere de los tiros libres. Y en 2 ocasiones no hicieron gol. Eso me deja frustrado, pero dentro del partido, la táctica, lo que quisimos en este partido, lo hicimos bastante bien. La única cosa ahora es cuando recibimos cuando metemos centro y lo recibimos en la área, la próxima decisión nos faltó hoy. O sea, a veces tiramos al arco cuando hay un pase filtrado para hacer. A veces hicimos el pase cuando hay un tiro, pero yo creo que como somos la forma que pensar es que sin el Diego, sin el Gozo, y con la adición de Juan y Víctor, va a tomar un poco de tiempo, pero yo creo que la flexibilidad que nos dan los delanteros nuevos va a ser más difícil para los equipos preparar para nuestro grupo, porque ahora podemos meter centro, pero también podemos hacer combinaciones.
¿Sientes que cuando el equipo, un jugador de Real Salt Lake tiene la pelota, se demora demasiado y al final da la impresión que están buscando abrir el balón para otro sector, pero finalmente el balón siempre llega al jugador que está más cerca de ellos? O sea, le da tiempo al otro equipo a armarse.
Sí, es otra cosa contra un equipo que se quiere tirar para atrás. El ritmo del juego es muy importante. O sea, y siempre vamos a encontrar el Vera, como lo encontramos en el primer tiempo, o el DeAndre en el lado derecha, para atacar el espacio. O sea, si te van a presionar, siempre tenemos opciones, pero cuando recibimos un balón, esa es una cosa que estamos hablando, hay que saber si tener el espacio para encarar, para ir para adelante, para hacer que cada vez que encaramos el espacio, se rotan la defensa. Y ahora cuando vamos al medio, vamos a encontrar el lado débil más claro. Pero eso son cosas que necesitamos, porque a veces pisamos el balón y le dimos mucho tiempo para armarse. Es un equipo que no necesitan tiempo, porque son un equipo que solamente les gustan defender y contragolpear.
Eso es lo que notamos, que se demoraba demasiado y le daban mucho chance al otro equipo. Lo último, ¿sientes que la clasificación todavía es posible? ¿Qué le dirías a la afición?
Sí. Sí. Vamos a tomar estos próximos 3 semanas a trabajar a la muerte, que tenemos una responsabilidad grande para el vestuario, para el club, para la afición. Esto en 21 llegamos el último día. Si tomas hasta el último segundo de un partido, el último día, vamos a llegar. O sea, la mentalidad es que es la razón que vamos a seguir trabajando, porque tenemos confianza que vamos a llegar.
Gracias.
Hey, Pablo. You talked with DJ about the game plan and how they executed it, and you specifically mentioned taking shots from, or getting the ball to the center of the field and making decisions from there. There was about 30 shots from inside and outside the box, and most of them were in that kind of central area, which sounds like it's kind of the game plan. We also talked about how Minnesota has a whole bunch of tall guys. They had 5 defenders for most of the game on the back line. There's also about 46 crosses throughout the game. Was that also part of the plan, putting in that many crosses against that tall of a team?
Yeah. So our experience with Minnesota in the last whatever many games we played them is we have complete control of the ball, but we're toothless with it, right? And something I always tell the guys is if a team's going to sit back, make them. If they want to defend their box, we got to make them defend their box. And where these goals come from is in that moment. It's not necessarily first phase because they have 3 big guys in the middle. It's the second phase. And we had a ton of opportunities tonight to capitalize. And again, now you're dealing with the goalkeeper's dealing with deflections if we can get a good shot on goal. They're dealing with a guy at the top of the box, and now they're running out, and now you can do combination play. So I think it's an area now where we have Juan and Victor where it just can't always be on the ground. And the reason for that is it diversifies our attack. So if teams know that we're always going to try combinations to get through the wide areas or go central to go out wide, it becomes really easy to defend. And so what we need to get better at and have better understanding with a bit of time is if we have a good crossing opportunities from wide areas, we have 2 guys in the box that can score goals. If they're not giving us that, then we combine centrally to get to the halves, to get to the pass zone, to create really good opportunities like we did on the goal we scored tonight. So I think having experienced the games against Minnesota in the past where we have 0.25 XG, tonight we had 1.8 something, probably one of our higher XG games. And so what that means is you're in great spots to score goals. And now you just got to make the next play, whether it's a shot or a pass. And those are things that we need to get better at.
Hypothetically, do you think if Diego was available to play in this game, would there still have been that many crosses?
No, again, so just to be clear, I didn't say just throw the ball in the box. That's not what I said. But if we have a good crossing opportunities from a wide area, let's make them defend their box. However, we still play the way we do. This is just an added. It's a different way to keep teams honest in the way they defend us. So as we get better at this, we'll be able to play the way we normally play, but we'll also be able to play balls into the box against especially teams that play in a back 4, right? I think Victor occupies a minimum of 2 players, and now you really, really have an advantage, but you have to work it. And again, if they drop into a 5, then we're coming inside to go back out. So it just adds a layer. To your point about Diego, most of Diego's goals this year, I believe, come from him being in the box. And when I'm talking about like second phase, if that ball drops 12 yards out, this is Diego's wheelhouse, right? So again, if they're dropping and you have a pass underneath, we want to play that pass, right? And so I think the more reps we get to be able to diversify the way we attack, the better attacking team will be, given that Victor and Juan are really good in the box.
You made several substitutions tonight. I wanted to ask you about 2 of them specifically. You brought in Ruiz, and he kind of played out of position a little bit, out on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you brought in Piol for Diogo.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of seems like you're bringing in players to play positions that they're not really used to. It seemed like with Piol and Ruiz, it was kind of a like-for-like position-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Was that just because of the limited amount of, or the limited substitution pool you had, or was that?
That was definitely a big part of it, right? You don't have Willie, you don't have Gozo, and you don't have Diego, so you have to dig a bit deep to find players that are going to play in those positions. And again, I think those players train in those positions this week. And the idea with Pablo is this: when you play in a back 5, they do a good job of forcing you to the line, right? So you're not going to be able to get a ball in behind the defense. But what you can do is cut on your left foot and serve a ball, right? Or find a central pass, whatever the player decides to do. So that's the thought with Pablo is if we put a right-footed player in that position, the chances are it's going to have to be rotated again. And that's not what we want against this team. We want to go central, want to pick up seconds, and we want to play for those chances at the top of the box. And Ari, again, the way we explain it to Ari is you're essentially a third striker. You're not a combination guy. We got Alex or Sam in the wide areas. We want numbers in the box. Again, make them defend the box if that's what they want to defend.
Hi, Pablo. Are you seeing any improvements as the new signings integrate?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think Victor scored tonight. I think their combination play at the top of the box. I think they're like I said. I think what these guys give us is a different type of dynamic in the way we want to attack. And obviously, these relationships take time. Like any relationship in life takes time. Unfortunately, we've got now 7 games left for it to be expedited. And the way we're going to do that is put our heads down and really grind this week and integrate Diego Luna back into the group and see how that looks. And again, I think we'll have a clearer picture as to how Diego really bonds with these guys, combines with these guys. And I think it's going to work out.
And then another question. Had you ever met DeAndre Yedlin before this week, or was this sort of
I
first
mean,
time
I've
meeting him?
coached against him for years. He's always been a thorn in our side, regardless of where I was. He's been everything that I think myself and the coaching staff could ask for. He's a humble player, experienced, locked down, right back, makes good decisions on the ball. His physical output is some of the top in the league still. So I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the group.
How do you balance staying positive with holding players accountable right now?
That's a great question. That's a great question because there's two ways to look at that, right? There's a psyche for the group, and there's a psyche for individuals, right? And so how do you, in these type of moments, there are individual conversations. Because again, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's not what it's about. It's not about pointing fingers, but it is about we have to have a standard in the way we defend, and that's where it's all more art than science. But I think we have a group that really, they beat themselves up, right? And so with every player, it's going to be different how you approach them, how you show them the video, but always with the understanding that there is a standard in professional football. But again, we have a great group, and again, like when these moments become so frustrating, change will come.
One last question. What's your message to the fans who may be frustrated after these 3 losses?
Again, I think the previous 2 were beyond our control. So like I'm frustrated too. Like, and I look at like the game plan for Charlotte, and I think we did a really good job of creating really good opportunities as the away team, controlling the game. And that's where after the game I said we just need to make plays, man. We can't 3-2-4-1 this thing into the net. Like it just doesn't happen, right? We set up our tactics to create opportunities on goal. Tonight's kind of the same thing where it's like you have probably one of your highest XG games and you're left with 1 goal, right? So there's only one way to move, and that's forward as a collective. It's not about pointing the fingers. It's about using these next 3 weeks to sharpen tools, to build chemistry. Again, like I said, we've had Diego out for 2 games. Victor and Juan just joined the group. So there's anytime there's that much change, and DeAndre coming in, anytime you have that much change, it's understood that it's going to take a little bit of time to do that. But having said that, they're adapting real quickly, and we just got to finish, again, the boxes, right? Defending our box better and making more plays in the offensive box.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you.
You started and went the full 90. How you feeling?
Pretty tired. My mouth's pretty dry. But no, it's good. Obviously wasn't the result that we wanted, but it's good to get in with the group and be able to go 90, get that confidence, especially when I was here a couple weeks ago with Cincinnati. I played 15 minutes and I was dead. So it's good to get that confidence in to be able to go 90. But like I said, obviously we're not happy with the result, but I think there's definitely positives we can take from the game and definitely things that we can work on and look to build on.
Pablo was just telling us how it takes a while for new guys on a team to kind of build the chemistry with their new teammates.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who has been on new teams before, how long does that process kind of take, and how do you kind of see that going here with RSL as well?
I think as I'm a more experienced player, it's a little bit easier. Definitely when I was younger, it was tougher, but as I'm a more experienced player, it's a little bit easier. Still difficult, but the guys have made it super, super easy. Everybody's very welcoming, from the staff to the players to the coaches, everybody. So that definitely makes the process easier.
And then what positives, if any, can you take away from tonight's performance?
I thought we had some pretty good chances. I don't know how many crossing moments we had and being able to get in front of goal, but I thought we had some pretty good moments in front of goal. I think we counter-pressed pretty well, and there's obviously there's just a few moments that we didn't get right, obviously. For myself, obviously the third goal, but it's a learning opportunity. It's obviously, everybody's gonna look at it and see it as a loss, but it's also a learning opportunity and a chance to get better and a chance to grow.
And then you, with being one of the newer guys on the team, do you feel like there's a pressure in the locker room with the playoff race tightening right now?
Obviously we want to make playoffs, but at the end of the day, we're just taking it game by game. Try not to focus on anybody else, just focus on ourselves, and that's the way we're going to move forward, just step by step.
You've referenced the third goal and the giveaway that set that up. Is that one of those moments that can be eliminated if a player isn't playing a brand new position, if a guy isn't brand new to the team, and you start to see each other's body language and have a better read on what's happening?
Yeah, I think definitely chemistry could have helped in that situation. I put a little bit too much pace on the ball, trying to get it to Noel. But it's one of those things that happens. It's happened before in my career. So it's not something I'm going to sit here and pout about. It's something just got to learn from and move forward. And as I learn how guys like to play, then that will get better and better. And as guys learn how I like to play, then we'll just keep getting better and better. So it's part of the chemistry that obviously still needs to be built. But I think there was a lot of good moments as well. So
RSL's had some guys who've scored a lot of goals, but they haven't had anybody who's played like Victor. And Cincinnati's got a lot of size, but do you think he's going to create, aside from the opportunities he has for himself, does he create opportunities in space for other guys because of the way he's going to demand people defend him?
I think so. Yeah. He's a big body. He runs well. He can get in behind. So that's naturally going to attract defenders and naturally going to make defenders respect the space. So of course that gives space to other people and allows other people to, be creative. But we have a lot of good attacking players. So it's just a matter of just clicking and, again, like we said, getting that chemistry and hitting our stride.
Because there isn't a game now for 3 weeks, is there a chance to have a little mini camp here? Could the team look really different? Could you guys get a lot of reps in and training and look different the next time out?
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of a blessing in disguise because we do have some new guys. So for myself and the other new guys to be able to kind of work on the things that Pablo wants. I've obviously been here for 3 days now. So just really today was just trying to go out and just feel my way into the game. But yeah, be able to get reps and really work on it in training is gonna help a lot. Mm-hmm.
Hey, DeAndre, you just said you've only been here for 3 days. What have your conversations with Pablo been like as far as your role and responsibilities on this team?
I mean, he wants me to be a leader. I mean, I think that's a big reason I was brought in, was to help lead. So it's obviously a quality that I think I've gained since I've gotten a little bit older. So that's pretty natural to me. And then just be myself, you know, defensively and on the attacking side. Just finding ways to you know, put my qualities into this team and ultimately help the team win.
You played 8 seasons in Europe where relegation was always a threat, you know, and every point matters. What is the most important thing about turning losses into draws and draws into wins?
What is the most important thing about it?
Yeah, like, what is the most important thing you have to do to turn a loss into a draw, you know?
At the end of the day, it just comes down to focus and little details. You know, I think you look at today and it's just a matter of little tiny details. It probably could have gone the other way. I think we did have a lot of good chances. They had good chances. So it was just a matter of, you know, them finishing their chances, and we didn't finish ours. And we also, on the defensive side, gave away some silly stuff. And those are the little details that, you know, we got to cut out. And ultimately we do that. And I think this is a very, very, very good group. You know, there's a lot of promise on the attacking end, especially, and if we can just clean up the defensive end, and then we'll be flying. So it's not like I'm sitting here worried about it. I'm pretty optimistic about this group. So yeah, I'm excited for the future.
Thanks.
Thank you, DeAndre.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Victor, curious your impression of your first home game for RSL at Elevation. How did that feel? The crowd, the elevation, all of it.
Yeah, my first impression is like I'm very happy to be here first, and also the fans also, you know, to be here in this kind of atmosphere is also an opportunity for me. So I'm very happy. That's my first impression.
Was the elevation hard to deal with?
I think from when I came was very hard, but now I'm okay with it.
Can you take us through the goal and some of the other early chances you had, and how they were created, and how you think you can improve on some of them going forward?
Yes, I will still improve on everything because I'm still a human being. But during the goal, like for the goal, I just know that he's going to play inside because we train for the past couple of days. We train for this, and I just need to be in the box at the right with the right runnings, and I just put it at the back of the net.
It's a pretty cool hat. Where'd you get your hat from?
From Prague. I got it from Prague. Yes. Yes.
And then how has your acclimation to MLS in general and to the United States been so far?
I mean, for me, it's strange. I will be honest, it's strange because the system and also the tempo is different from where I'm coming from. So I think it's different from where I'm coming from.
I had a question. You just came here from Europe, a continental, move. Is it easy? You scored in your first game at home. Is it easy to come to a new place and just start scoring?
It's not easy. 100%, it's not easy. But as a professional in what I'm doing or what I do, I just need to adapt to the system as quick as possible. The US is not my first country to play in. I've played in different countries. I just need to adapt to the system and get it from there.
Hey, Victor. In the time you've been here, in your conversations with Pablo, has he laid out any kind of specific things that he's trying to get you to do, or is it just kind of just be in front of goal, cause distractions? Is he just trying to keep it simple, or is he giving you specific instructions?
No, yeah, he's because he's a coach, and I'm also a player that worked with him, and he gave me some important decision and some things to do on the pitch and off the pitch also. Yes.
Anyone on Zoom? Thanks, Victor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.